figure out how you're going to build more. And a lot of people had complained that he doesn't do anything. They're like, he's this activist, he's this leftist, but what's he really doing? Well, apparently he was doing nothing. We've done a bunch of crazy stuff. We've done live shows.
I was like, you're going to talk about the billboards, aren't you? You're going to talk about buying billboards in Times Square with all the monies you have.
Done big PR stunts with like billboards in Times Square.
Oh my God! Buying ad space for your fucking show is not activism. Oh my God. Lefties losing it. Social justice warrior screamer urged by fan to boycott Coke Zero.
Now to a dude called Hasan, who is some sort of social justice warrior from America, a streamer who's in Australia at the moment.
That's got to be fun. Someone's like, yeah, you're some kind of social justice warrior, streamer from America. That's all I really know about you.
Like, we don't have enough lefties losing it already here. He attended a pro-Palestinian protest, but
I'm not gonna lie, lefties are kind of losing it. I'd say collectively everyone's just kind of like incredibly shocked and horrified and outraged at what's taking place, usually directly by the governments of Israel and the United States supporting Israel and what it's doing. That's making a lot of lefties very mad. That's what they're mostly angry and upset out. But if you were to watch the right and right-wing media, you'd think it was all about DoorDash or bicycles being ableist or other stories like that, because they try to make it look as if the left is just constantly fighting and melting down over these things. Titties in video games. Some new Stellar Blade game has a costume that apparently is too tantalizing for the left, and they hate boobies and wokeness and the fact that there are now woke boobies. Yes, woke boobies are destroying wokeness. I mean anti-woke boobies, anti-SJW boobies. It's hard to tell. It's confusing.
while there, some of his fans were not happy with him because he was drinking Coke Zero. He wasn't being sufficiently anti-Israel. Have a look.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
This is the clip, by the way. I figured it'd be a good opportunity to watch it. This is the clip that the right is showing that the left are sick of their own. Yes, they can't stand the very audience they've cultivated, which is, again, it's an odd way to look at the world, where it's if ultimately what you're advocating for are leftist things, it's not really going to depend on whether or not you're getting a certain amount of social media credit scores online or enough viewership online to continue to do that. It is way more lucrative to be able to pivot from the left and start making a lot more money, say as a disillusioned leftist who I just saw how wild the left had been. They lost their minds, and yeah, that's why I'm now joining PragerU. It's the only logical step to make. You got to go from one to the other, obviously.
Hey, you need to stop drinking Coke Zero on stream.
Why?
It's boycott.
Wait, is it?
You're preaching pro-Palestine and you're drinking all this boycott stuff. Please, Hasan, at least pretend. Do it off stream. Please.
Okay, I'll put it in a glass. Is Pepsi okay?
No.
Is it?
Okay. No soda, son.
I didn't know it was like that.
I've been trying to stop it, isn't it?
Yes, Hasan, at least
That's the clip. Yeah, I know. That's the one that's circulating online too. That's the totality of the whole fiasco right there. That scene that you saw. So, like, again, when I saw it, I was like, wait, what? That's it? That's the one that has everybody going like, this is on Sky News? Are you serious? This is Sky News worthy. This is a story that needs to be told, you know? Some SJW streamer from America apparently just wasn't being anti-Israel enough by their own fans. And look at the fight that ensued. Someone comes up to Hasan, is like, you gotta stop drinking Coke Zero. He's like, oh, okay. Can I drink Pepsi? Like, no. Oh, okay, I'll put it in a glass. Did you need the Curb music to play at the end? Like, would that make it more impactful? Oh, done. Like, this wasn't just Sky News, by the way. Tim Pool did a whole segment on it. We're about to look at the reaction to the reaction to the reaction, but Tim Pool went off about this, and apparently this is huge news in right-wing circles.
pretend, drink it off stream, and no, Pepsi is not okay. Now to this young lady, or I don't know, she identifies as all.
Oh, are you doing the thing? Because without knowing, it is incredibly weird, once again, to be like, well, I mean, this individual is a leftist, might use they, them pronouns. I don't even know if it is a woman. Is it wrong for me to assume? Yeah, am I not allowed to say that anymore? She, her, they, them. It's so complex.
All the pronouns. He, she, they. This is M. Adams, an educator and a leader of a group called the Movement for Black Lives.
So as Ananda mentioned, my name is M. Adams. I use all gender pronouns said respectfully. So that means it is appropriate for you to refer to me as she, her. You could also use he or him or they or them. All of those words.
Sky News, isn't this supposed to be easier for you now? It's a little bit harder for you to be a bigot. Is that why you're upset? Is it like it's more difficult for me to misgender when there's more pronouns being used? I hate this too. I hate everything.
To me, feel good to me and recognize me for how I want to be seen.
She called herself a non-dimension there. I haven't heard that one before. I'm going to add that to my long list of identities. Now to...
You know what sucks though is that you didn't get to do misgendering. You did use she. If someone's any all, oh no, does that take the power away? Did you lose something there? You know, a little joy in your day, you know, trying to make someone else feel shittier.
Melbourne, Australia's lefty losing at capital, where they were again blocking roads, causing mayhem in the CBD. And this short video was proudly posted by a Greens politician who was there, Samantha.
To be fair, I think that's all of the time that Hasan got. It was just a quick little segment to be like, holy shit, can you believe what's happening?
For the worse as soon as he decided to call me names. So I'm going to
Who
take
is
credit
this
then.
person?
Yeah, I'm going to take credit.
I do not know who this man is. What is he saying? I've called him name. Who is this guy? What is my boy saying, dog? What the? Who is this person? Have you been evil maxing? What is evil maxing? What the is evil maxing? It's in that tweet on screen. Wait, what? Hasan Piker viewership dropping off a cliff, down 40% in the month. I used to like him when he was a standard Bernie guy, but then he decided to go full tanky. He laughed about China invading Taiwan, defended October 7 massacre. He's been
Drew Pavlu, is that it? It seems to be someone who's consistently obsessed with Hasan. There's a lot of people online who basically any single time like Hasan coughs, they suddenly think like, oh, that's fucking, he just said that the China should invade Taiwan. That it happened.
evil maxing.
From Drew Pavlau. I'm not super familiar with who this individual is, but this tweet is going is being passed around. Hasan Piker, for those that aren't familiar, he is I think it'd be was the most prominent leftist streamer on Twitch.
What do you mean was? Who is that? Like, my man said was. Okay, who is then? What's going on here?
He is, how does he describe? Is he a socialist? Is that how he described himself?
What is evil maxing? So essentially, evil maxing, I believe, is a term that is, and correct me on this, you know, trans people if I'm wrong on this one, but it's a term usually used for cis folk who begin to, you know, really start going down the whole transphobic train, or they start doing a lot of right-wing talking points and stuff like that, usually corresponding to them either falling off online or taking some kind of a hard right pivot or something to that effect, is my understanding with evil maxing.
I mean, he's a himbo socialist, yeah.
Himbo socialist, is that what he says?
Well, no, he doesn't say that. That's me mocking him.
Oh, okay.
But
wait, I do say that. What is this guy? Who is this guy? Why is this divorced dad saying I don't say that? He's mocking me. I do say that. I actually do say that all the time. Okay, these guys are like,
Jcast, thank you for the $2 dono with a message mark safe from Diddy. Well, that's good.
Assume they're like secret admirers, right? Is that what's going on? Bro is a fan.
Evil maxing, like looks maxing, requires a certain level of onlineness. Well, I know like looks maxing is referring to this trend, and it's being done by a lot by dudes where they're taking very extreme measures to try and become chads. Like this also corresponds with chad maxing. Again, very online culture stuff, but you show like how you've been doing things to say like, you know, break your own jawline in order to make it look more chad-like and things like that. It's, yeah, pretty intense.
Okay.
He's allegedly a socialist. He says that he is culturally not American. He rejects essentially everything that there is about America.
What? That's not true. I love America. What the are they saying? I'm literally an Ameriboo. How is he saying the exact opposite things? I just gotta say something here. It's like funny because he has to be a fan because he's basically saying all of the right things, but then in reverse. If he wasn't a fan, he wouldn't know these things, right? Like, one, I'm an Ameriboo. I say I'm an American all the time, and I love American culture. Literally why I sound
This is the first time I've heard that. I've never heard of Marabou. It's my first Marabou.
and look and know all the things about American culture. And I also do say I'm a himbo socialist.
According to this tweet, his viewership is down 40% in 1 month, from averaging 49,000 viewers to 27,438.
Wait, what is happening? I don't know what these numbers are. I don't really understand what these numbers are actually from, but like I don't have 27,000 live viewers right now. I'm pretty sure this is sub count. Oh, wait, they're so dumb. Oh no, these guys are talking about my sub count.
Is that true? Now I want to investigate. February 2024. I suspect this is why so many people have tuned out. Total was 49,710. Tier 1 Prime. Tier 2. Oh my god, it is. It is. Oh, that's sad. That's too bad. Why not go on Social Blade at least?
Is that, wow, undefined from 30,000 to 9,000. That's more than 40%. I think what's happening is younger people are realizing that this leftist...
Yeah, bro, what are they talking about? Like, my sub count has been the same, like, pretty much nonstop for the past, like, 3 years almost. It's had, like, massive peaks in between, but usually it's like, that's so weird. They're trying to pocket watch, but they're not even doing it correct. You can see the graph here. You are literally exactly the same for the last 6 months. Yeah, my viewership has gone up and down. If I was like 10K average, usually did go down to like 20K average now. And that part is true. That happened post October 7 for sure. But it's like pretty funny that they're talking about like my sub count, and my sub count has not gone down. It's just like, it's around 50K nonstop. Dude, they did such bad math here while they were covering this that I have to investigate how they this up so bad. This is hilarious. This is one of those things that's like pretty easy to do math on. You know what I mean? You just look at the numbers and you go, okay, here's where he's had a drop off. Here's where he hasn't. And they did such a bad job with this information that like I had a hard time trying to investigate what their investigation was done on. Obviously, like my drop off has been severe. As you guys know, I'm dead. I'm dying. I don't think that I have not been in the top 5 for overall subs on the platform in general, which is of course a major drop off, as you guys know. Pretty dead. I don't think they understand that I have like an older audience that always is like filtering in and out with disposable income, and therefore don't have all the time to watch, but they still support and they come in and they watch and they resubscribe, that kind of thing. I think that's just what it is. Check this. They are so stupid. Be aware that the data for current month will always be incomplete until the next month begins. Yeah, I think that's what happened. They like accidentally, or maybe not on accident, but they basically put like an incomplete month and their numbers and said,
all right, so they fucked that up. I'm less concerned about this. I think we can get to the meat.
We've turned healthcare into a TV show to make it function. He ends up responding by insulting me because I was critical of funding the war in Ukraine. So here's a guy who simultaneously says the military-industrial complex is bad, we shouldn't fund wars, and we should be funding Ukraine and supporting Ukraine. We can't leave them hanging. Because
wait, what? Dude, my politics are an enigma to everyone. Like, what is it? Am I pushing Z and I love Vladimir Putin and I want him to wipe out Ukraine? Or am I like saying like we have to give all of our money to Ukraine? Please keep giving more of the money to Ukraine. What is happening? It's all of it at the same time, depending on who the audience is and what they want to hear. On the right-wing circles, they're like, Hasan wants to fund Ukraine so much. In liberal circles, I literally want Ukraine to be wiped out. Like, I think people watch both of these videos and go, yeah, it's both actually. He's both at the same time. I hate him, so it's good. Not realizing that like a lot of that hatred just comes from watching videos like this where these people are talking about my opinions and just making it up as they go along.
He's saying whatever he thinks individually will...
Oh, Kevin McInnes was on this?
So I'll just say this to Hasan, who may end up seeing this. In November of 2020, we were getting over 100,000 concurrent viewers.
Wait, me
like
too.
September.
Same, King. No worries. You know, me too. Like, it doesn't feel great. I won't lie. Of course it doesn't feel great. I'm doing fine. I had Ale Cooper's Pale Ale. It was really good.
Well, okay, he filled a decent size. I mean, what's 13,000?
Yeah, college basketball arena.
College basketball.
Oh, that's not Gavin McInnes. You're just, I guess, wearing Gavin McInnes core. I guess it's a whole vibe. Like there's a Gavin McInnes drip that other people want to achieve. All right, cool.
That's so kind that they're like being nice about my viewership. 13,000 is a great number. The point wasn't even like I'm getting 13,000. The point is 20,000 people want politics. They leave immediately when I'm doing something that's not like immediately about politics. That's it. It's annoying that my community is like so politically focused and so politically inclined. That's it. That's the only point I was making. You were at 17K with constant disconnects. It wasn't 13K. That's the issue. You're actually irrational over this shit.
I also don't care about the whole numbers thing. Like, Hasan's doing fine. It seems so weird that like Tim Pool would want to go after this in an attack.
That's what it is. So by his own logic, doesn't that mean I should be a right winger? Doesn't that basically demonstrate his?
Kinda. All right, hold on. I want to get to Hasan Piker viewership plummets as Gen Z rejects leftism.
We have this tweet from Drew Pavlak, Hasan, to this depressive state, but also the people who watch him, who are being, Hasan's clear. He's like, I want to do more. I've succeeded here. What else can I do? There's
He's got a whole other business, I guess, that's totally not like internet business, or it's an IT business or something like that. That's totally independent of like YouTube and stuff that he did, like completely isolated. So it's he's just a workaholic,
Look at the cultural evolution that we're going to be engaging in.
Wait, are you still talking about Hasan? He had an IT business? Are you talking about TYT? Are you just getting the letters wrong? I can't tell.
Sure. The right has people who are like, I have succeeded and I would like to build more. And then you have the left where they're like, I'm making a bunch of money right now because a social media platform has propped me up and I have no idea how to monetize outside of this and I will soon disappear.
Yeah.
I'm upset because only
I'm sorry. What are you?
people are watching my hot political take that I put out there. The same viewership as my gaming. And so he has
no, it's the opposite of that. If any political streamer, myself included, if I switch to doing video games, the numbers plummet. That's the whole point. It's that Hasan went to Australia. He was doing non-political streams. He was complaining that his audience only likes watching when he does political streams, which is what anyone who's like suddenly seen their numbers go in half would like think for a little while and be like, I'm trying to give you some nice wholesome content, but all of you only want to tune in. Like, you can say it as a joke. It's at the end of the day, you're choosing to do what you want to do with your own content, right? You're going to put yourself out there. You're going to say, hey, today we're going to go to the beach. I'm not going to talk about politics. I'm just going to show you a fun time. I know I'm going to crater in so doing, but I just want to do that. If you want to watch, tune in. If not, that's cool. And then afterwards be like, man, no one wanted to watch that just because I wasn't talking politics the whole time. And then to be like, well, yeah, because that means that they're decidedly cratering. And then they've decided that their only way to make money is to also stream while video gaming.
Let's keep doing it. It's a job for him. And he's got nothing else. It's not his passion anymore, maybe. Maybe it's now just he has to do it.
I think you see this is a trend.
He's a 60s Batman villain, like what, the Diddler?
It's been on YouTube forever. You'll see a video where someone goes on YouTube and they're going, I just can't do this anymore. You don't know how hard it is. I'm really struggling. I wake up every day. And then all you got to do is look at their past like 4 videos and the viewership was in decline. And then they have a mental breakdown. Because what's happening is they're watching their sales decline.
I bet Lance has hidden tattoos. I have a giant rose and a Métis symbol tattoo on my leg. It's the only tattoo I have. It's big though, and in color. It took a lot of hours. It was painful.
Decline rapidly, and they don't know why. Now, any person who has experience in business, or like us, for instance, what do we think? I'm like, okay, so the election cycle is as soon as the election ended in 2020. Like I said to everybody, the election cycle is gone, which means viewership's going to drop.
Vanguard YouTube raid. Well, hi, Vanguardians. I don't know if you're actually doing the real raids on YouTube. They suck. If you are, I know your pain. It absolutely sucks. So thanks for going through the trouble of clicking on redirect. YouTube's thing is so strange. You can't just be like, hey, I want to go to someone else's stream. You got to go to the live stream settings, open it up, and then go into the redirect tab. And then you got to find the live stream if it lets you select it. But everyone else has to have the redirect tabs turned on.
It means revenue goes way down. So we need to shift and figure out better ways of monetizing, because ads won't cut it. Like we have a 4-year cycle in news and politics.
Fair.
2024, of course, is a really big year for us. I imagine by the end of the year, it's going to be bonkers in terms of viewership with the billions of dollars in spending. And of course, the Civil War. I'm kidding. But,
no, you're not. You don't get to meme this.
As things start picking up. But if you don't know how to run a business and you're one of these streamers and the only thing you do is just, hey, subscribe, and that's it. Well, people come and go. I mean,
yeah.
What are you building? What are you doing?
And the worst thing about it is
yeah, but like I love how you're talking about this in the opposite way that leftists usually talk about this, where they're like, everyone here is like, yeah, we're building a platform here, all right? Like I know you all are. I know that's the goal of this. This is a media empire. You've been launching multiple ones. You have what, like Tenants now or whatever, that other one with like Lauren Southern and shit. Yeah, it's very clear that this is a business. These are business models, and you know how to fleece your audience. That's why you sell them prepper buckets and unhealthy shit and continuously keep them afraid. Be like, Civil War is coming, Civil War is coming, Civil War is coming. You got to buy these fucking Black Rifle coffee, fucking coffee bags to prep up. You got to get the prepper buckets. You got to get those too. You got to get ready. You know, I've got a sponsorship deal, 2 for 1 if you go to this website, all that kind of stuff, because it's scary out there. It's dangerous, and it's coming. Keep subscribing, keep building, keep telling your friends, keep this whole thing growing. Yeah, please, let's do it.
Well, the topics that they're talking about mean nothing a week later. There's zero replay value for any of it. And that's why I was saying, like, if they stop 6 months later, there's like no one cares. Like, I mean, I am fortunate that like people have really fallen in love with some of the stuff that All That Remains is written. And I
gotta agree though, I have no idea who the fuck this is.
I get checks from that forever because people love the music and it's going to be with them forever. I listen to music that I listened to when I was a kid still. Now there's a bunch of stuff that I've added since, but everybody still loves.
He's the All That Remains guy? Who's the All That Remains guy? All That Remains guy. A failed musician. Okay. Philip Stephen Labonte. Philip Stephen Labonte is an American singer from Massachusetts, best known as the lead singer for the metalcore band All That Remains. He's the former lead vocalist for Shadows Fall and was the touring vocalist for Killswitch Engage. He's got influences from Cannibal Corpse and other places, but clearly he's a right-wing metalcore dude. He said that he's an atheist. He regularly appears on Tim Pool's nightly podcast. He's part of the libertarian movement. He endorses Ron Paul. Gotcha.
Loves the bands they fell in love with when they were 15, 16 years old. And I'm super, super happy and super fortunate and super grateful to all the people that still spin stuff from, you know, from the fall of ideals, from you know, when they were kids. But it's like, if you don't do something that people can really fall in love with, that's beyond just the daily kind of, this is what's going on, you're not going to have any kind of longevity. And I don't understand why. I mean, I assume that it's mindset, but like the dudes that we've been talking about, none of them are doing anything outside of their daily stream, you know?
So my first YouTube channel was youtube.com/timcast, and I would do one segment every day at 4 p.m. It got big. I got to a point where I was getting 500,000 views on one 30-minute segment. Then I launched Timcast News and started doing 5 segments there. Then we launched Timcast IRL. Then youtube.com/Timcast turned into the
Wid Pope. Thank you very much for subscribing. I appreciate you.
The Culture War podcast Fridays at 10 a.m. This shift is just general adaptation. You can't sit there doing the same thing with no business plan and think it lasts forever. This is what's happening to Hasan. He's like, oh no, my viewership's gone. Maybe at the peak of your success, when you're making tons of money, you should have thought to yourself, now what do I do? What seeds do I plant? What do I invest in?
Look for the next wave.
Or just...
honestly, of all the people you could attack for not being successful as a leftist like content producer or streamer, why would you go after Hasan? Like, anyone else would make more sense. You're talking about someone who's still usually in the top 10 biggest streamers on the whole Twitch platform. I get that, like, Tim Pool is bigger. I agree. He is a bigger live streamer than Hasan is. But like at the end of the day, there's a lot of other people you could be attacking.
Right. Figure out how you're going to build more. And a lot of people had complained that he doesn't do anything. They're like, he's this activist, he's this leftist, but what's he really doing? Well, apparently he was doing nothing. We've done a bunch of crazy stuff. We've done live shows. I
was like, you're going to talk about the billboards, aren't you? You're going to talk about buying billboards in Times Square with all the monies you have.
Done big PR stunts with like billboards in Times Square.
Oh my God! Buying ad space for your fucking show is not activism. Oh my God. I didn't think I'd have to say that out loud. No, that's called advertising. What you did was you were advertising. That's advertising. You're advertising the Timcast show.
You can do live shows. You don't just do. You don't just do live. You take it on the road too.
Well,
I mean, that's...
I'll tell you the one thing that I do take issue with is we make a lot of money. We certainly don't make as much as many other people in this space. So how is it we do more? You know, I don't want to name anybody or shame them necessarily.
Oh, do it.
You know, I kind of want to light a fire under them. But I know for a fact there are many people in this space that want to save this country, that are worried about our border, that are worried about this port closure over this. But like, we need sound leadership. And I'm like, my friend, I know how much money you have and you do nothing with it. or whatever it is you're doing. It's like you're buying your luxury penthouse, going swimming in your infinity pool, complaining on Twitter, and spending nothing towards anything else. Hey, now I'm a capitalist. Far be it for me to publicly complain that someone is not.
Oh yeah, I mean, actually, if you cared about this as a movement, you would celebrate that. You would actually be happy about it. You'd be like, it's a really good thing because I utterly despise communism, socialism. So anyone who advocates on its behalf, if they're siphoning money into their own personal wealth and just becoming hyper-capitalists, that would be the greatest thing ever, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be, hey, we're going to do a segment on how Hasan fell off based on our misunderstanding of his sub count, and then start offering him advice and being like, hey, you gotta grind, baby. You gotta really put in those hours. You know, you're not putting in the time.
Being an activist, the left does that, but then they literally do nothing. I'm just saying, I wish.
Honestly, that's probably one of the biggest differences I've noticed. And yeah, there are grifters, and there are grifter people who say that they're leftists. Look no further than someone like Jimmy Dore, for example, right? There's people who just want to enrich themselves, but all they do is they put out schlock and then just keep people upset about right-wing culture war shit. Vaccines are turning you into goo. That doesn't actually benefit your audience. That's not going to that's not going to make your audience healthier. That's not going to make them change the world. That's not going to do anything except get them paranoid and afraid about something that could be life-saving. So it is 100% someone grifting people and their audience in order to, again, extract as much profit as possible. Yes, there are people who do that, no question. But most of the people I would say that you can trust are the ones telling you stuff that isn't going to be personally, financially advantageous to them, but they know will actually have real world impacts on the world. Like if you tell someone, hey, instead of giving money to me, you should be spending time trying to do direct action. You should be spending time not working or concentrating on the big sexy elections. I know the ones that everyone thinks about, you know, the who's going to become the next president, but you should actually be running for local office. You should actually be spending time supporting that. You should actually be putting money into doing that. You should be canvassing for local socialists and people who are going to directly impact your local community, change what police budgets are, change police priorities, things like that. That is going to have a decidedly better effect on, like, you know, local politics and probably your life than concentrating on these big things. When you get people who are advocating for that and pushing for that, then obviously it's going to be very different than, hey, by the way, you should be watching my show as much as possible, like, subscribe, share all the clips, make sure that you are only watching me, don't watch anyone else, only subscribe to my channel. This is the vanguard of the revolution, and the only way to unlock the vanguard in communism, comrades, is by hitting the subscribe button. Like, yeah, that would be very, very different, right? Two entirely different pathways.
More successful people who are on the culture war right, whatever that means, would actually put up the money to do cool stuff. And a lot of people are, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that there are some people I know and I'm like, how much is that guy worth? $50 million? What's he doing?
So he's actually talking about activism equals when you take all your money and you use it to spend on like meme billboards. That's apparently what makes the headlines. Quartering went after Hasan as well. Apparently Hasan is now working at McDonald's. Yeah. 1 subscriber. Oh no.
To just stream your break? Dude, what am I supposed to do? Die? Like, I don't...
Is this your place? No, I live with my mom.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's either this or I die.
You hungry? Hey, Ma! Can we get some meatloaf?
Who is in that group chat? I'm just curious. I only recognize 2 of the all Avatar cast. Not sure who this or this is. This is Mahler, usually rolls in kind of like white supremacist groups. This is one half of Adam and Sitch, I believe. I don't know who these 2 individuals are or who that is.
You hungry? Hey, Ma! Can we get some meatloaf?
There is always, in the middle of my day, when my mom isn't there to cook the chicken for me.
Hey, Ma! The meatloaf!
Oh no!
Ma, the meatloaf!
My mommy wasn't here.
What is she doing? I never know what she's doing back there.
Make the chicken nugget. Oh no!
What an idiot!
It's taking
What's
so
wrong, everyone?
long.
Jeremy here from the Quartering, and there's some messages.
Messages. Some messages. Did you have to censor the word messages?
Floating around Twitter, that what the world's biggest hypocrite, perhaps in our world, in the digital space, is having a bit of a melty, realizing that his career may be over. Now, it's a fate that really faces...
Why is he talking to Nubu? I get when he says prawn instead of porn, because he basically doesn't want to get demonetized, so I understand those ones, but what with all the other ones? All these little messages.
Almost everyone who creates content whether it's burnout or you have a controversy or you lose touch or your audience moves on. Very few people do this forever. Heck, PewDiePie even rarely uploads anymore these days. But for every PewDiePie, Mr. Beast that are able to stay, popular for a very long time, just about everyone else just has their few minutes in the sun and that's it. Well, my favorite thing to cover on this channel is hypocrites, liars, frauds, clowns, right? And there are a few people.
That's so rich. That's so unbelievably rich. Yeah, I just been coming from you of all people. I'm curious what's going down right now on r/the quartering is a Nazi right now.
That check all the boxes of things that I like to have the most fun covering. Than people like Hasan Piker. It starts at the top with a guy like Bernie, 5 Mansion Sanders, and then it gets down to guys like Hasan, multi-millionaire, multi-million-dollar mansion in Hollywood, 6-figure Porsche, all this kind of stuff. Orders DoorDash every day, sits around, watches everybody else's videos, and then tells 14-year-old kids capitalism bad while selling them $70 t-shirts. Okay, there is perhaps no better Webster's dictionary defines hypocrisy as, or Webster's dictionary defines champagne socialist as.
Oh, I didn't even know that Mudahar was fighting with the quartering online. The quartering says, Paris has fallen. Not a single shot was fired. How did it fall? They're peacefully praying on a Friday? I don't know. The grooming gangs, gang rapes, violent criminals, skyrocketing crime, you pick. There are literal no-go zones. Then we not outright mention this instead of showing a Friday prayer? Well, you have to understand, when you are a centrist for life, you might wonder why people like the quartering, for example, are consistently targeting certain groups on a regular basis.
Hasan Piker, who used his pulpit of up to 50,000 or more live viewers on the regular to preach socialism to children, looks like he's having a bit of a meltdown. And these messages were surfacing around on Twitter.
I'm glad that the quartering is a Nazi keeps all the receipts because he deletes these so quickly. Black girl gamers assemble, despite of all the hate that is happening towards us right now, let's do something that will uplift us. And then he responds, gamers don't care about skin color, even though I'm making a post now where I really care about skin color. Weird ideological grifters do. No gamer gives a rip about your skin color. Your skin color is not a personality, I say, as I attack you for your skin color. Here, live.
Now, I must caution people, as much as it is easy to dunk on Hasan Abi, it is... there's very little context. These appear to be messages sent on a day, but without context.
Why not look into the context or do any research before you start putting your videos up for all of your fans? Oh, because it's funner if they just assume what's going on. Okay. I've already gone through this. It's like, it just seems so boring to have to defend this. Hasan went on vacation and was talking during his vacation on his Discord about how his fans only like his content when he's watching or talking about politics, which he's done numerous times before. He was being hyperbolic in the way he was responding to people and being silly online. And now they're talking about how he has cratered.
Now, again, let me be clear. The guy will probably still make plenty of money, even if he only has 10 to 20,000 viewers on his live streams. But it's an election year. We'll see. Come November, will Hasan Piker bounce back? It's going to come down to whether or not he can convince people that he has anything interesting to say anymore, because he said all that he needs to say.
Yeah, I don't even know if I can cover this. This is all just so silly. Again, it's like, if you want to go after Hasan, if you were a right-winger, you could go after real things, to play this clip of like, hey, here's Hasan, and one of his own fans is apparently disgusted by him for drinking Coke Zero, and look how he responds. And then you watch the clip, and then he's like, oh, okay. Wait, this is the clip, the one where apparently Hasan was so frustrated by his own fans that he regrets his whole life decisions and has now decidedly said that he hates all things lefty. And again, it's like, well, then why is everyone making videos on him and talking about him? And I know it's because obviously the quartering hates Ethan Klein, and their alliance had him very, very upset. And now he's pulling up the Drew post. I'm just curious if he also gets this wrong.
Power they're seeing. Look at his money, by the way. Now, I don't know why there were so many undefined Twitch memberships in February 2024 and so many few. I don't know what all kind of fits into that. But if you look at from February to March, his revenue has dropped 50%. That's a pretty big hit.
The quartering is more clever than Tim Pool. He recognized that these were subs because Tim Pool is like, just look at his viewership. I mean, I don't want to, obviously, I mean, we get very high numbers ourselves, but it's just wild to see that he went from 49,000 live viewers to 27 live viewers. And so at least the quartering was the quartering was more clever than Tim Pool on this one. So that's That's nice. And also, yeah, we just pulled it up on the screen, his sub count overall. I mean, I don't know why I have to defend, again, the multi-millionaire who gets like 30,000 subs, 40,000 subs. But like, again, you're not pointing out this massive... If you want to... here's what you got to do. If you're a right-winger and you want to be big mad about this and have it actually be based in reality, you would have to point out that there's something that Hasan did that got his fans to reject him and be disgusted by him and shave his viewership in half, right? Where it's like, hey, Hasan is going to go on vacation. When he goes on vacation, he knows his sub count is going to, his viewership is going to go down. His sub count is going to go down. And if he does a live stream of something that isn't politics, obviously a lot of people aren't going to tune in. That's just the nature of anyone doing this kind of content. And I know that, like, you know, Tim Pool doesn't do a lot of IRL streams or anything like that, but that's what happens when you stream stuff that doesn't happen to be what you regularly stream. Sometimes it can even be, if I go to a protest and I live stream it, it's still not going to get the same kind of viewership because I'm not interacting with people. It's not like watching the same show. It's kind of like you're just like, oh, Lance is IRL. That's neat. What's going on there? But then you're like, okay, I'm going to go watch something else because I want to see where all the juicy goss is online. But then you'd have to identify that and then correlate it with Hasan fucked up and here's his viewership and it went down. Like everyone who hates Vosh could have pointed out that after the whole Vosh leaked folder lolly shit, you can show that on Social Blade he went down by like 25,000 subscribers. There you go. There's something where you can be like, here's an inciting incident. Here's clearly a massive loss. People just like started to unsubscribe en masse, and then we can directly point towards this and be like, okay, here's the thing that happened. Here's how people left. Well, when it's like, hey, by the way, his overall, if you look at his sub count, has remained pretty steady, as it does fluctuate up and down, but his viewership has never been on a regular basis 45,000 people. He gets like, you know, 20,000, sometimes 25,000 on a regular basis. But again, why does everyone care? Like, I guess if he's the person you just love to hate, then here's a weird win, you know?
Is about, let's say he probably gets a little more than half. Okay, but let's just say he's like everyone else and he only gets half. Okay, so that's half of that is $2.50. So he gets what, 100,000, just over $125,000 or whatever it is, right? You know, 125,000. That's right. Okay, which now he has dropped only to making $60,000 a month. If that trend continues, he might have to wait to make his shark bar. He might have to wait to put together, you know, another mansion. But certainly.
That's true. You got him. All right. I think that's all the coverage I can do this story. There's not much more to contribute outside of, it seems like foolishness. I'll be honest with you.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We first want to give a shout out to everyone who makes this show possible. This program is produced thanks to the generous support of our Patreon supporters: Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbar Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Peanut Butter Blondie, Political Poppy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Richard Bomey, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Ruby, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demmel, Travis McClinton, and Words Greenwood. As well as every other person you see on the screen right now, this show would not be possible without them. And if you want to join these wonderful people who make this entire program possible, simply go to patreon.com/theserfs and you can unlock uncensored and bonus episodes and, you know, help us exist.